All right, let's dig in. Number 8, air fresheners. You thought those little plug-in air fresheners made your home smell like a lavender meadow? Well, I hate to break it to you, but they're actually turning your living room into a slow-motion gas chamber. Many of these delightful little devices release volatile organic compounds, VOCs, for those keeping score at home, like formaldehyde, benzene, and phthalates. And before you ask, no, those aren't fancy French perfume ingredients. They're chemicals linked to respiratory issues, hormonal disruption, and cancer. A 2015 study published in Environmental Health Perspectives, which sounds way more official than Steve's blog about smells, found that certain brands released up to 20 known toxins, even when used exactly as directed. That's right, following the instructions still gets you poisoned. In poorly ventilated spaces, this buildup creates what scientists politely call a toxic cloud, which is basically the opposite of what you were going for when you bought something called Spring Breeze. I mean, come on, people. If you want your house to smell better, maybe try cleaning it instead of masking the odors with carcinogens. That's like putting perfume on garbage. Sure, it smells different, but it's still garbage. Number 7, non-stick cookware, Teflon pans. Teflon sounds fancy and scientific, doesn't it? Makes you feel like a professional chef instead of someone who burns toast on the regular. But here's the plot twist that's going to ruin breakfast forever. Heat that pan past 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and it starts releasing perfluorooctanoic acid, or PFOA. PFOA has been nicknamed a forever chemical because it sticks around longer than that house guest who keeps saying they'll leave soon. The CDC and EPA have linked long-term exposure to thyroid disease, testicular and kidney cancer, and reduced immune function. But wait, there's more. Ever heard of Teflon flu? Yes, that's a real thing, and it happens when you inhale too many fumes from overheated nonstick pans. Imagine getting the flu from your cookware. Even your kitchen is trying to make you sick. Picture this. You're trying to make scrambled eggs, and your pan is literally off-gassing chemicals that will outlive cockroaches and your student loans. That's not cooking. That's conducting a chemistry experiment where you're both the scientist and the test subject. The irony is beautiful. You bought non-stick cookware to make cooking easier, and instead you've turned your kitchen into a chemical weapons facility. That's some premium human decision-making right there. Number 6, old batteries in junk drawers. Ah, the junk drawer, humanity's greatest achievement in organized chaos. But those old AA batteries rolling around with your expired coupons and mystery keys, they're basically tiny fire starters waiting for their moment to shine. Batteries can short-circuit when they come into contact with coins, keys, or other metals, starting fires inside drawers. The U.S. Fire Administration has reported home fires caused by nothing more than a battery touching loose change. Imagine explaining to your insurance company that your house burned down because of pocket change and a dead Duracell. But the fire hazard is just the opening act. Corroded batteries leak potassium hydroxide, which is a caustic substance that burns skin and corrodes electronics. So not only might your drawer catch fire, it might also dissolve your stuff before it burns. This is like keeping tiny chemical bombs in your kitchen, except less organized and more likely to happen by accident. Your junk drawer isn't just messy, it's a fire hazard with commitment issues. Look, I get it. Humans are collectors by nature. But maybe collect something less likely to burn your house down, like bottle caps or regrettable life decisions. Number 5, dryer lint plus dryer sheets. Dryer lint is one of the most flammable materials in your home. Now combine that with fabric softener sheets, which release VOCs like acetaldehyde and benzene, and you've created a cocktail of fire and toxic fumes. It's like mixing stupidity with chemistry and hoping for the best. According to the U.S. Fire Administration, clothes dryers cause about 2,900 house fires each year, mostly due to lint buildup. That's 2,900 families who learned the hard way that ignoring maintenance has consequences. Oh, you thought that was it? Studies in air quality, atmosphere, and health found that dryer emissions could be more toxic than car exhaust in closed spaces. So your laundry room might actually be more polluted than a busy highway. That's not fresh-smelling clothes. That's aromatherapy with carcinogens. Think about it. You're taking dirty clothes, adding chemicals to make them smell fresh, then heating everything up in a machine that collects highly flammable material. What could possibly go wrong? This is like designing a fire hazard and then adding toxic fumes for flavor. The engineering is impressive in its complete disregard for safety. Number 4, talcum powder. For decades, talcum powder was marketed as the pinnacle of hygiene. Gentle enough for babies, fresh enough for adults. Turns out some natural talc deposits are contaminated with asbestos, which is about as gentle as a chainsaw massage. In 2020, Johnson & Johnson pulled its talc products in North America after lawsuits and studies linked long-term use to ovarian cancer and mesothelioma. Internal memos from the 1970s revealed companies knew about this risk but didn't warn the public, which is about as shocking as finding out that tobacco companies knew smoking was bad for you. So basically, generations of people were dusting themselves with a known carcinogen while being told it was safe for babies. That's like marketing lead paint as a vitamin supplement. The best part? This information was available for decades, but it took until 2020 for the product to be pulled. That's 50 years of everything's fine while people were literally powdering themselves with cancer-causing minerals. This is what happens when corporate profits meet basic chemistry and ethics takes a vacation. The result is predictably horrible and somehow still surprising to the people in charge. 3. Canned foods with BPA linings. Bisphenol A, or BPA, is used in canned linings to prevent corrosion. Sounds reasonable, right? Well, BPA also mimics estrogen and has been linked to infertility, obesity, and early puberty. So your canned soup isn't just feeding you, it's potentially rewiring your endocrine system. A Harvard study in 2011 found that people who consumed canned soup for just 5 days had a 1,200% increase in BPA levels in their urine. That's not a typo, 1,200%. Your soup consumption basically turns you into a walking chemistry experiment. Many brands have switched to BPA-free linings, which sounds great until you realize studies show alternatives like BPS may be just as dangerous. It's like replacing one poison with a different poison and calling it progress. You're eating what you think is a healthy, convenient meal, and you're actually dosing yourself with hormone-disrupting chemicals. That's not dinner. That's accidental pharmaceutical consumption. The irony is that canned foods were invented to make food safer and more convenient. Instead, we've managed to create a delivery system for endocrine disruptors. That's some next-level unintended consequences right there. Number 2, compact fluorescent light bulbs, CFLs. CFLs were supposed to be the environmental solution to incandescent bulbs, more efficient, longer lasting, better for the planet. Except when they break, they release mercury vapor, a potent neurotoxin that makes lead paint look like a health supplement. Inhaling even small amounts can cause headaches, memory loss, tremors, or more severe effects in children and pregnant women. The EPA recommends evacuating the room for 10 plus minutes if a bulb breaks, which is the kind of emergency protocol you'd expect for a chemical spill, not changing a light bulb. So we replaced perfectly safe incandescent bulbs with mercury-filled time bombs that require hazmat procedures if they break. That's like solving world hunger by making food poisonous. Millions of these bulbs are still in circulation, especially in older homes and offices, just waiting for someone to accidentally create a mercury contamination event while trying to improve their lighting. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, and apparently it's lit by mercury-filled light bulbs that could poison you if you dropped them. Number 1, nail polish remover, acetone. Acetone in nail polish remover is highly flammable and evaporates fast, creating vapor clouds that can ignite from a spark, cigarette, or candle. So your beauty routine now includes potential explosive hazards. According to NIOSH, extended exposure can affect your central nervous system and liver function. During Prohibition, acetone was used to denature alcohol to make it undrinkable. Think about that. The same chemical that makes alcohol poisonous is what people use to remove nail polish. Picture trying to do your nails near a candle and accidentally creating a fireball. That's not a beauty routine. That's amateur pyrotechnics. The fact that we casually keep highly flammable solvents in our bathrooms, the same room where people light candles and use hairdryers, is peak human risk assessment. It's like storing fireworks next to matches and wondering why things explode. This is what happens when cosmetics companies prioritize effectiveness over safety. The result is beauty products that could literally blow up in your face. Look, I'm not saying you should live in a bubble or throw out everything in your house. I'm saying maybe it's worth knowing that your air freshener may be slowly poisoning you, and your dryer is a fire hazard. With commitment issues, the universe has enough ways to kill you without your help. So yeah, hit that like button. If learning about household hazards has made you appropriately paranoid, subscribe if you want more cheerful reminders that everything is trying to kill you. And remember, stay curious, but maybe also stay alive.